Greetings, you Rakdos roustabouts. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham and welcome to the Crack-A-Pack here on LRRMTG. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, it's very exciting. Today, we're looking at a pack of Ravnica Allegiance that was given to us, according to this note, by Brandon C. at C2E2 2019. I assume it's Brandon C. because I feel like Brandonk would be kind of an odd name. We only went to C2E2 that one time, but it was a fun time. I got to ride a train afterwards. None of that is relevant to Ravnica Allegiance, so I'm just gonna crack on in. Last time I did a Ravnica set on Crack-A-Pack, it was the other one, Guilds of Ravnica, and I believe I correctly guessed which guilds were in it from memory, and I'm not going to do it again because I might get it wrong. But I think one of them was Rakdos, and the reason I think that is because the first card I see is Spear Spewer. Single red mana for a 0/2 Goblin Warrior with Defender, and it deals 1 damage to each player. Yeah, sometimes you just had to hurt yourself to enable Spectacle, and that was fine. As long as you could outpace the opponent on damage, which you could with Spear Spewer, you were alright. I don't know, I think Spear Spewer was kind of neat, honestly. I tended to run it in my Rakdos Spectacle decks. 10th District Veteran probably wins the award for the card that you most begrudgingly played, because it was just very non-impactful, but sometimes you just needed a 2/3 for 2 and a white with Vigilance, and when it attacks, untap another target creature you control. So it kind of gave something else Vigilance, sorta, a bit. Noxious Grudian, ooh, that would have been a good one to use at the top of the show. 2 and a black for a 2/2 Death Touch Beast. This was, well, I mean, I guess it would have been the Pitiless Gorgon was the first one, but big run of like 2/2 Death Touch for 3 in black. You know, the Pitiless Gorgon, which was black-green, and then this one, and then I'm thinking of Wanti Fangblade, which did stuff as well with Venture, and then Hobbling Zombie, which gave you a zombie afterwards. You know, it's a sweet spot, you know, the 2/2. There's also a 2/2 for green with Death Touch as well. The point is, a 2/2 for 3 with Death Touch is a nice place to be. Traded for some big things. Steeple Creeper rarely was able to punch above its weight, but you know, 2 and a green for a 4/2 Frog Snake. Thanks, Simic Combine. And for 3 and a blue, Steeple Creeper gains flying until end of turn. Steeple Creeper was most useful at trading up, often on the ground. It blocked okay. It didn't attack very well because there was lots of 2/2s floating around. Steeple Creeper was medium. Exposed to Daylight, 2 and a white for an instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment, scry 1. Sometimes you had to. It was rare. Sometimes you really had to run this when your opponent was like, yeah, I've got 4 copies of Ill-Gotten Inheritance, then you'd bring in the Exposed to Daylight, but you didn't want to. You never wanted to bring in Exposed to Daylight. Okay, this is a high pick now. Grotesque Demise. 2 and a black for an instant, exile target creature with power 3 or less. I'm not joking. I am literally just now realizing the joke on this card. In this moment, saying it out loud, I've just realized that the art is depicting a grotesque. The statue from the side of a building. If it has water coming out of its mouth like a downspout, it's a gargoyle. If it's not, if it's just a statue on like the minarets of a building, it's called a grotesque. And this is a grotesque demise, and I'm so upset with myself that 2019, 2 years later, I'm only just now, shout outs to whoever was on the creative text team for this set, and I'm sorry that I'm only just picking up on that. That's very good. God, they must have been so proud with themselves. I know I would have been. Sphinx's Insight. 2 white blue for an instant, draw 2 cards with Addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you gain 2 life. So Addendum was the Azorius mechanic, which was, you can do a thing, but if you do that thing at instant speed during your main phase, it's better. It's sort of like swagger, really. It's like, you know, I could do this anytime, but I'm gonna do it when people would expect it. I'm not going to surprise anybody with it. I'm going to cast it right now. It's going to be even better. And everyone else goes, yes. Everyone claps. Sphinx's Insight was actually pretty all right in the Azorius deck. Burn Bright, 2 and a red for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Now, 2 important things to note here. 1, it doesn't say attacking creatures. So unlike most instances of effects like this, like Trumpet Blast, you can use this on blocks. So, you know, upside, it's more flexible. Downside, it's just not good in this format. I saw it run, I think I ran it once or twice, but it's not even a 23rd card. That's like a 26th card. It's not great. Senate Courier, right. I just remembered what I would do in this format. 2 and a blue for a 1/4 bird with flying, and for 1 and a white, Senate Courier gains vigilance until end of turn. That was fine, but hold that thought. Follow up, because I moved the card and I looked ahead. Azorius Knight Arbiter, 3 white blue for a 2/5 with vigilance, can't be blocked. So super annoying on itself, but both of these were great in the, oh no, what was it? Watchful Eyes? No. What was the High Alert? What was the deck called? There was an Azorius enchantment that got your creatures to deal damage equal to their toughness, which meant that Azorius Knight Arbiter was hitting for 5, unblockable, and the Senate Courier was hitting for 4 with vigilance in the air, and they were both very good blockers as well, and that was just a very, very good deck that you could often pull together, certainly on Arena. Anyway, I think it was High Alert, because there was Prying Eyes was a card draw spell in this set. Yeah. And then High Alert had an activated ability too, where you could tap a creature? Untap a creature, right. So you could sort of give it pseudo vigilance. There we go. Still probably taking Grotesque Demise, not because of the very, very good name, but just because it's good removal. But we're into the uncommons now, so let's see how it goes. Windstorm Drake, 4 and a blue for a 3/3 flying Drake. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. Yeah, right. In the Azorius Flyers deck, this was fine. This was actually less good than you might have thought. At least it was a lower in the pick order than you might have thought. But boy, we're getting all the Azorius cards here. We've got Dovin's Acuity, aka Dovin's Acuity, which is just false, but here we are. 1 white blue for an enchantment. When Dovin's Acuity enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw a card. Whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, you may return Dovin's Acuity to its owner's hand. So you play this, you gain 2 life, you draw a card. Next turn, you play your Sphinx's Insight in your main phase, you draw 2 cards and gain another 2 life and put this back in your hand, and then you replay the Acuity and you get another card and 2 life. Very nice. Last uncommon, Tin Street Dodger, single red mana for a 1/1 Goblin Rogue with haste. You can also pay 1 red, and Tin Street Dodger can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with Defender. So this was another way that you could enable Spectacle, which was the Rakdos mechanic, which I've mentioned a couple times without explaining. It let cards do certain different things, often cost cheaper, rather, if your opponent lost life that turn. So you'd activate this, get in, ping them for 1, but then you'd get to cast your Blade Juggler for 3 mana instead of 5, or something like that. And our rare, Awaken the Erstwhile. Boy, was this ever a dud in draft. 3 black for a sorcery. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So this is only good if you have lots of cards in your hand and they don't, because it's not you creating all the zombies, it's each player discards their hand and then each player makes as many zombies as they discard. So it's not great. We have a Spirit Token and a Simic Guildgate. And that Simic Guildgate honestly could be a high pick, because this is the set with the Gates deck. We didn't have any payoff for it here, but that is the set with the Gates deck. I will say that I think this is between Dovin's Acuity and Grotesque Demise. The Acuity, just because if you're like, look, there's a lot of Azorius here, I'll probably wheel one of these cards that's good for Azorius, and Dovin's Acuity is very strong in that, and you just want to be like, you know what, I'm being Azorius this time, flag, and then plant that and, you know, see what you can put together. Or Gross-Hestimize is just very efficient and good removal with a really clever name. I'm mad about it. Monetarily, the pack is worth, I mean, less than $1. It's 96 cents for the whole pack. So, you know, you're not going to be making any big bucks on packs at Ravnica Allegiance. But this was fun. At least I had a lot of fun drafting the heck out of it on Arena and doing ridiculous gates things. So, you know, like I said, there's a real argument in just taking Simic Guildgate and being like, I'm just cutting all the gates. The rest of you could do whatever. I'm, you know, going big gate times. Bring me those Colossuses, bring me the Gatebreaker Rams. But anyway, that's it for this episode of the Crack-A-Pack. Thanks again to Brandonk for this pack of cards. We very much appreciate it. If you want to send us a pack of cards, which you don't have to do, but you can send it to our P.O. box at the address that appears on your screen. Until next time, a reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We got a store, check that out. Thanks, James, for being here helping out with the board. Shoutouts to Matt for the edit, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.